On the day I was supposed to tie the knot, my girlfriend Lisa suddenly had to rush off to handle some issues with her older brother, leaving me stranded and becoming the joke of the town. The whole wedding was scrapped. My folks were livid and everyone was laughing at me. She told me, "We can always get married later, but I need to settle this debt of gratitude first." After hearing her out, I gave her a thumbs up. "You're such a good soul, and people should look up to you. But maybe we shouldn't get married after all. You might want to take care of someone else's kid without being related by blood, but that's not for me." At the wedding venue, out of nowhere, Lisa ditched her wedding dress and walked out the main entrance in regular clothes. I was totally stunned. The wedding march was still playing and the host just froze. The girl managing the event, who was in her 20s and new to hosting, had never seen anything like a runaway bride before. Felt straight out of a TV drama. She stood frozen, along with my parents. Guests started whispering among themselves. My dad, shaky on his feet, hurried up to the stage, grabbed my arm, and asked, "What's going on, son? Everything was going great, and now the bride's gone. You need to call Lisa right away and see what's up. Today was your wedding. Everyone's waiting. It's not a joke." His urgent look snapped me out of my daze. Remembering the phone and Lisa's odd behavior after she got that call in the dressing room, I wondered who could have called her and made her bail, turning me into a laughingstock in front of everyone. Lisa had been my girl for 3 years and a junior at our university. I ran the campus media center, handling all the events both on and off campus. We first met during the National Day celebration in my junior year, co-hosting the event. Lisa was stunning, with a sweet voice, and stood out in the hosting team. I was the one who chased after her. Growing up, I believed that if you wanted something or someone, you should go for it. Love was no different. Because of Lisa, my image at school changed drastically. From being the cool guy, I was now known as the campus simp. I never missed a chance to show up at any event she was at, always catering to her needs. Luckily, my persistence paid off. After 6 months, I finally won Lisa over. The day I confessed, she got teary-eyed and said she couldn't resist my sincerity. Looking back, being soft-hearted was a bit of a mistake. The day after the wedding fiasco, Lisa showed up at my doorstep with a guy. And then I thought she was here to officially call off the engagement and explain publicly, but her first words were complaints. "Jake, this is my older brother's younger brother, Ryan. He was in a car accident yesterday. He's always depended on his brother, and I couldn't just leave him alone. We can get married again, but if anything happens to him, how could I face my late brother? You're such a good person. You get it, right?" Martin was Lisa's senior at university, the same older brother she always talked about. I'd never met him, but heard he was kind, upright, and always thoughtful. Lisa had mentioned how much she owed him since she was struggling financially. He helped her apply for scholarships, took her to hosting gigs to earn extra cash, encouraged her, and helped her become more confident. From her stories, I understood why she felt indebted, but right then I couldn't accept her explanation. I'm a good guy, so I should understand her ditching the wedding without a reason. Honestly, good person isn't exactly a compliment. It's like saying someone's a pushover or a fool. The guy she brought, Ryan, was about 20 with sharp features that would catch most girls' eyes. He looked straight at me without any guilt for ruining my wedding. What he said didn't sound like an apology. It felt more like he was bragging. "Jake, it was me who called Lisa yesterday. I had a nasty car accident, and since I had no family in the city, I panicked and called her. I was so confused. I completely forgot she was getting married. I held back my irritation and studied the guy in front of me before asking, 'A bad car accident? You seem fine. No injuries on your face or body. Where exactly are you hurt? No hospital visit? No checkup?' I asked calmly, but Lisa's reaction was anything but. She stepped in front of Ryan protectively. 'Jake, I'm explaining things to you. Can you stay rational? Why are you questioning a kid like this? I already told you. We can reschedule the wedding. You can't nitpick over something so small.' Her words made me laugh in frustration, my tone getting cold. Nitpicking? Lisa, you're the one who bailed on the wedding. A whole room came to watch this mess. I don't care if I lose face, But what about my parents? People are laughing at me. We spent 10 grand on the venue and setup, 8 grand per table for the food, and none of it could keep you here as the bride. Now everyone thinks our marriage lacked love, and you think we can just redo the wedding? Will your family foot the bill? In the years I was with Lisa, I hardly ever spoke harshly to her, but this time, I couldn't hold back. Lisa came from a single-parent household with a sick mother who couldn't even attend the wedding. Her whole income went to her mom's medical bills, leaving her always broke. I knew this and, out of sympathy, never let her bear any financial burden. I came from a well-off family, had a good job, and my parents were healthy. Before the wedding, I had an honest talk with my parents about Lisa's situation. We decided my family would cover all wedding expenses and her family wouldn't need to provide a dowry. Being an only child, my parents didn't want to shortchange me or my future wife. They bought us a house, a car, and gave us a dowry of 188,000 yuan, all to ensure I could marry Lisa in a grand and respectable way. But the wedding disaster humiliated my parents. My dad had to take heart meds just to stay calm. He's a reasonable man and didn't blame anyone without knowing the full story. He just advised me to find out what happened and ask Lisa to make a public statement so no one would misunderstand and damage our marriage. I hadn't expected Lisa to act worse than I imagined. When I mentioned the money, she changed completely. She glared at me with pure contempt and spat out her words viciously. "Jake, just because your family has some cash, do you need to bring it up every chance you get? You only care about your parents losing face. But what about mine? Didn't I tell you about my older brother Martin? He helped me so much to get where I am today. How could I not repay this debt of gratitude and ignore his brother's struggles? Ryan has had it rough enough already. Don't you have any compassion?" By now, I'd lost my patience. I glanced at the smug-looking guy beside her. I gave her a thumbs up. "Well, you're kind, you're noble, and the world should take you as an example. As for the wedding, I think we shouldn't go through with it. You may want to raise someone else's child with no blood ties, but I don't." The conversation fell apart, and Lisa stormed off angrily with Ryan, saying, "You'll regret this." As she left, a friend of mine overseas somehow caught wind of the wedding mess and called to check in. During our chat, he dropped a bombshell on me. "Dude, I never liked your girlfriend. I told you before she was using you as a stepping stone, but you wouldn't listen. Look what happened, didn't I call it? If she's so focused on repaying some favor, why would she be getting married?" Lisa's so-called benefactor, Martin, wasn't just her older brother. He was also her former crush. You know how dangerous those lost loves can be, right? And Ryan looks just like his brother. This is straight out of some tragic drama. Don't take this the wrong way, but even if you go through with the wedding again, I bet you'll end up in the same mess. His words hit me like a cold shower. No wonder Lisa was so protective of Ryan yesterday, like a mother hen guarding her chick. It turned out she was treating him like a stand-in for her lost love. I'd heard about Martin from others, mostly that he was Lisa's older brother and had co-hosted many events with her, helping her land gigs and opportunities. Lisa never hesitated to mention his name to me, always talking about how sorry she was for his early death and how grateful she was for his help. But I had no idea there was this hidden backstory. I felt a chill as I checked Lisa's post on social media. It was a picture of her with Ryan. The caption seemed written just for me. Since I was young, my mom taught me to always repay kindness. I promised myself that one day I'd find someone with a heart full of gratitude and make them my partner. If I can't find that person, I won't marry. I couldn't help but laugh at the irony. Even now, she was still sticking to that narrative of repaying favors. If she wanted to repay so badly, I'd let her do it her way. I reached out to one of my university professors to get more info about Martin's family situation. It wasn't too different from what Lisa had told me. Their family was indeed struggling, but the poor, helpless younger brother Lisa spoke of wasn't as innocent as she made him out to be. The professor's description was alarming. "Jake, why are you asking about him? Stay out of his family's affairs. Martin was a good kid, but his younger brother's nothing but trouble. He dropped out of high school and started hanging out with lowlifes from South Alley. He's either fighting, gambling, or worse, soliciting prostitutes. He only shows up to ask his brother for money. Word is, debt collectors are banging on his door now. He even wrecked a car recently. If you see him, keep your distance. You don't want to get dragged into his mess. Debt collectors, a car accident. I felt a knot tighten in my chest. Why did this all sound so familiar? The funny thing was, the car Lisa drove away from the wedding in was mine. When I got back to the apartment, I went straight to the underground garage, planning to pull the dashcam footage to see this serious car accident Ryan was talking about. And wouldn't you know it, I ran right into Lisa and Ryan, loaded with grocery bags. As they headed upstairs, my mind went blank for a few seconds. Lisa tilted her chin at me, speaking proudly. Jake, Ryan's such a good kid. He feels bad for causing issues between us, so he bought all this stuff to make it up. I've thought it over too. What happened at the wedding was my fault. Don't be mad. Let's have dinner and talk it out. Seeing that I didn't respond, Lisa grabbed my arm, pouting and playing coy. Honey, you know me. I just have a bit of a temper. Whatever I said before, I didn't mean it. We've been together for 3 years. How can we just call off the wedding like that? There were reasons for what happened at the wedding. Ryan and I are both willing to sincerely apologize. Please be the bigger person and let this go. We still have a future together. Just as I was about to respond, I caught a glimpse of fleeting irritation on Ryan's face. I quickly changed my words. Let's go upstairs first. Ryan, eager to please, grabbed the bag from my hand. Brother-in-law, you and sis go on ahead. I'll handle these things. Lisa reached out to pat his head, looking smug. See, didn't I tell you Ryan's such a good kid? He's so obedient. If it weren't for the two of them standing right there, I swear I would have thrown up. Watching them walk ahead, all cozy and close, I curled my lip in a bitter smile. Tattoos, piercings, smelling of smoke and alcohol, and he's a good kid? If this guy ends up betraying her, I sure hope she doesn't come crying to me. I had no appetite for dinner that night. From prepping the food to washing the dishes, I barely spoke or offered any help. The reason? Before we entered the apartment, Ryan had boasted about handling tough times. So I casually said, well then, why don't you take care of dinner and the dishes tonight? And promptly assigned him to the kitchen. He couldn't come to my place and leave without doing something, right? Lisa shot me a disapproving look. Jake, seriously, who asks a guest to cook? He's just a kid, what can he do? Ryan's face stiffened at my words, but after hearing Lisa, he quickly changed his expression and started comforting her. Oh, it's no big deal, sis. Ever since my brother passed, I've had a rough time. I've had to cook and take care of the house myself. Maybe Jake can cook, just wants to try my cooking. Don't worry, sis, I'm good at handling things. I didn't respond, just glanced at Lisa with a cold look. Her expression turned slightly awkward. Clearly, Ryan didn't know me well enough. He had no idea how I earned the title of simp back in the day. I had cherished Lisa so much that I ignored the burdens her family placed on me and overlooked her indifference toward me. I never let her lift a finger around the house. After we moved in together, I handled all the cooking while Lisa spent her evenings lounging on the couch, shopping online, or binge-watching shows, waiting for dinner to be served. Ryan's attempt to stir things up was misguided. Seeing that neither Lisa nor I responded to his words, he sheepishly slinked into the kitchen. I had planned to have a serious talk with Lisa, but before I could get a word out, she couldn't bear to see Ryan alone in the kitchen. She got up and went to help him. I watched her warmly engaged back, and for a moment I was lost in thought. That kind of thoughtfulness I'd never received. Even when I had a high fever of 39 degrees and was still worried about preparing food, Lisa would simply lie in bed and offer a half-hearted, "Thanks, you're working hard," as if it were just a formality. And now here she was, someone who'd never even sliced a piece of fruit, volunteering to make a complicated dish. At that moment, I suddenly realized we were completely done. Looking back over the past 3 years of our relationship, was she really with me out of love? No. She stayed with me for many reasons: money, care, tolerance. But love? That was never part of it. The dinner ended without much drama, but the weird vibe between the three of us didn't fade even after the meal. The clock struck 9 p.m., but Ryan, after washing the dishes, showed no signs of leaving. He sat beside Lisa, obediently peeling fruit for her. Lisa glanced at me cautiously several times before speaking. Jake, look how considerate Ryan is. Doesn't he remind you of Leo? Leo was my cousin, who never liked Lisa. When he found out I was going to marry her, he was so upset he didn't even attend the wedding. I was surprised Lisa would mention him out of the blue, but the reason quickly became clear. Didn't you say the other day you need an assistant? Ryan's smart and reliable, so why not let him work at your company? And since he's had some trouble recently and can't stay at his old place, our guest room is free. He could live here, and you two could carpool to work. It'd be convenient. I was stunned by Lisa's suggestion and stayed silent for a long time, processing what she had just said. When I finally spoke, my voice was cold and devoid of emotion. Did you see the job posting I put up? Bachelor's degree, 2 years of work experience, proficiency in Excel and PowerPoint. Does he meet those requirements? If he does, fine. Bring his documents. He can come for an interview tomorrow. Don't talk about arranging anything. I still have to consider what's best for the company. Even if he meets the qualifications, he'll need to go through 3 rounds of interviews with HR. If he passes, then we'll talk. My words left both Lisa and Ryan speechless. Ryan forced a smile and tugged at Lisa's sleeve. Sis, if Jake doesn't want to, it's okay. Don't push him because of me. My brother used to say that heroes aren't judged by their background. Sure, I don't have a high education, but no matter where I work, I'll put in the effort. With that, he pretended to wipe away non-existent tears. Seeing his act, Lisa's expression changed, and she angrily lashed out at me. Jake, how did I not realize before that you're such a materialistic person? All you ever talk about is education, money. Do you even care about how other people feel? Ryan may not have much formal education, but he's honest and hardworking. Why wouldn't he be a good fit as your assistant? Why does the company need all these rigid qualifications? You're looking down on him like some lowly dog. I let out a bitter laugh, refusing to back down. Education and money aren't important. Then how did you get your current job? Could you have gotten it without either? Lisa fell silent at a loss for words. I had reached the end of my patience and decided to end it once and for all. Please take your benefactor's brother and leave. Go repay your debt wherever you want. Just don't bother me anymore. The guest room is for actual guests. I don't know him and we're not family. Let me make myself perfectly clear. We're done. I'm not joking. The car is mine. The house is mine. If you want to take your things, do so. Leave the car keys and I'll change the door lock code. Lisa, let's not see each other again unless absolutely necessary. Lisa was stunned by my response. It seemed only then did she realize I wasn't joking about not getting married. But she was too proud to admit defeat in front of Ryan, so with him in tow, she stormed out. Not even 30 minutes after she left, I got a notification on my bank account. Your XX bank account was charged $899 win on August 17th, 2024. At the same time, my membership account at a certain 5-star hotel gained 899 points. I was speechless. She acted tough, but when it came to spending money, she didn't hesitate. Even after everything that happened, she was still using my money to book a room at a 5-star hotel for someone else. Incredible. I immediately canceled the family card and called the bank to freeze the credit card I'd given to Lisa. After sorting that out, I called my parents to tell them what happened between Lisa and me. My dad was furious, but relieved that we had held the wedding before officially registering the marriage. During the conversation, I also learned that Lisa's mom had been privately pressuring my family to hand over the dowry. Luckily, my mom had insisted we wait until after the wedding and marriage registration to give it to them. Now that the wedding was off, at least we hadn't lost the dowry money. I thought that would be the end of it. But when I arrived at the office on Monday, I was met with a sight that caught me completely off guard. Lisa was standing in the lobby, red-eyed and looking exhausted, with her supposedly bedridden mother by her side. The moment I saw the old woman, I realized I had been deceived. The woman who could gather a mob to cause a scene at my company's front door was definitely not as sick as Lisa had led me to believe. To prevent any drama or staged accidents, I immediately ordered the media team to grab their cameras and record everything from every possible angle. Within minutes, Lisa's mother and the crowd she'd brought were completely surrounded by cameras. Looking dumbfounded, standing at the center, I signaled them to continue their performance. Don't stop now. If you're going to make a scene, do it right. I need this footage for the media. Louder. Don't be shy. They had never dealt with the media before. Surrounded by all the cameras and equipment, everyone started to panic. Lisa's mom's arm was being tugged back and forth by the people around her. Lisa's mom, you said we were just here to hold a banner for Jake to give him some courage. You didn't mention all these cameras. I didn't tell my family about this. How embarrassing would it be if they saw me acting like this on TV? Aren't you his mother-in-law? Doesn't he listen to you? Tell him to stop filming. This is making me uncomfortable. Old lady, with this setup, we're going to need more money. Not much, but at least another 100 each. I can tell your son-in-law has money. Just don't make it too hard on him. Think long-term. Hearing the complaints from the crowd, Lisa started to get flustered. She nervously tried to calm her mother. Mom, I told you, Jake isn't the kind of person who responds well to threats. This won't work. It'd be better if you just pretended to be sick and I acted all sweet. That would work much better. I watched the mother and daughter coldly, silently observing their performance. Out of nowhere, Ryan barged into the scene, disrupting the tense silence caused by the cameras. I'm not sure if he'd been watching too many cartoons, but he seemed to think it was his moment to play the hero. Ryan rushed in front of Lisa and her mother and, in one swift motion, grabbed the nearest camera and slammed it onto the ground. The loud crash left everyone stunned. The smarter ones in the crowd realized it was time to leave and slipped away quietly. Lisa's expression of gratitude toward Ryan was quickly shattered by my cold and emotionless words. Great job, Ryan. I was just wondering how I could call the police since the damage is under 3,000 won. For your information, that was a 24K HD camera. Market price 23,000 won. Who's going to pay for it? You all better figure that out in advance. As soon as I finished speaking, the crowd dispersed like scared animals, terrified of being stuck with the bill. Lisa's mother turned pale, but still tried to hold her ground. You can't scare me with your money talk. You've been dating my daughter for 3 years, wasting her youth. Now, just because she wants to repay a favor, you turn your back on her. I know you work in the media, but let me tell you, justice will prevail. If you don't give me the dowry you promised, I'll bring people to make trouble for you every day and expose your scumbag behavior. Her words made me laugh. I shrugged. This isn't the place for a justice will prevail speech, ma'am. All right then, let me be direct. Go ahead and expose me. I'd love to see how you prove I'm a scumbag by talking about your daughter running away from the wedding or maybe about her cheating. Don't look at me like that. Do you think I'm lying? I've got footage on my dashcam showing your daughter's indecent behavior. Do you want to hear it? I can play it for you if you'd like. The moment I mentioned the dashcam, Lisa and Ryan's faces turned all sorts of colors. Lisa lost control and shouted at me. Jake, we've been together for 3 years, and I never thought you'd be so despicable. If you dare expose my privacy, I'll make your life miserable. That night, Ryan and I just drank too much, and things got out of hand. That little bit of audio doesn't prove anything. And you wasting 3 years of my life. Now you want to call off the wedding just like that? Where's your sense of responsibility? You run a company, but you're disgusting. Any lingering affection I had for her had long since disappeared, and her hysterical, irrational words had no effect on me anymore. Watching her unravel before me, I felt only pity and sadness. I looked at her coldly and responded without emotion. Lisa, you graduated from one of the top universities. You should know better than to bring the law into this. Let me put it simply. Don't you realize your mother's actions today amount to causing a public disturbance? And your dear brother smashing that camera? That counts as criminal damage instead of wasting time here with nonsense. Why don't you think about my question? Who's going to pay for that 23,000 won camera? If you care so much about your older brother's favor, I'm sure you'll be more than happy to cover the costs for his dear little brother. Right? At that moment, Ryan lived up to his reputation. Playing his part perfectly, he clung to Lisa's arm, pleading for help. Sis, I only smashed the camera to protect you. You know my situation. I can't afford to pay for something that expensive. You have to remember how much your brother helped me. He'd be furious if I had to suffer like this after everything." Lisa hadn't even had a chance to respond when her mother snapped. She pulled Lisa away and slapped Ryan across the face. The loud smack echoed through the hall, followed by her furious yelling. "You little brat! If it weren't for you, my daughter wouldn't be in this mess. You're broken, uneducated. How did you even dare to get involved with Lisa? Because of you, I've lost the dowry, and now you want my daughter to cover for you. Are you even a man? And what kind of delusional dreams are you living in? If my daughter ever ends up with a loser like you, I'll break her legs myself." I could see the shift in Ryan's eyes, and I quickly signaled my team to step back. The police, who had just arrived, noticed something was wrong with Ryan too, and rushed in to intervene, but it was too late. Ryan pulled a knife from who knows where and stabbed the old woman deep in the chest. As he stabbed her, he cursed violently. "You damn old hag! Who do you think you are, talking down to me like that? You think I'm soft? You think your daughter is some pure angel? She's been sleeping with me behind your back. Even though she has a fiancé, you think she's repaying a favor? She's just into my face because I look like my brother. Well, I'm already buried in debt. I can't pay 23,000 yen, so why don't we just die together? We'll go see my brother in hell." Lisa screamed and shut her eyes at the horrifying sight. The police tackled Ryan quickly and restrained him, while paramedics rushed in to take Lisa's mother to the hospital. As Lisa, looking broken and terrified, was led away by the police, she reached out helplessly. Just like on all those nights when you were afraid of the dark, you reached out to me for help. "Jake, I'm so scared. Can you help me?" I didn't know Ryan was like this. I know I was wrong. I'm really scared. I gave her a contemptuous smile. "Now you're scared. It's too late, Lisa. I'm scared too. You're the kind of person who terrifies me. Witnessing a murder firsthand, it's impossible to say it didn't affect me at all. But knowing Ryan's nature as a societal parasite, I had a certain psychological expectation for his behavior. It's ironic. Really. Mrs. Zhang, who had maintained her image of being frail for years, now had it come true. She was stabbed 3 times in the abdomen, all life-threatening, and is now in a vegetative state, kept alive only by 4 fluids. Lisa's salary of over 4,000 won a month clearly wasn't enough to support her. When I heard that Lisa resigned from her job at a friend's company, I wasn't surprised. She had always been someone who cared deeply about saving face. The impact of the assault case was significant, and the media coverage didn't blur her identity enough. Everywhere she went, people gossiped, especially since she worked at a company owned by my ex-fiancé's friend, knowing I would never forgive her. She hadn't appeared in front of me again. She only sent a letter through a mutual friend, claiming it was to express her apology. I didn't even bother reading the letter and told my friend to handle it however he saw fit, adding one simple reply. "This isn't the time to write apology letters. I get dizzy reading them. I don't care for them. I know very well that I sincerely loved Lisa once. I gave her endless kindness and tolerance. In this melodrama, disguised as repaying a favor, I gave her many chances, even at the beginning. I reminded her multiple times that even if she wanted to repay a favor, she should first check if the person truly deserved it. She never listened. Instead, she constantly accused me of being narrow-minded and not kind enough. Was I truly not kind? If I had really been unkind, this whole conflict would have exploded the night I got the dashcam footage. I should have exposed this entire farce at the wedding. But I thought of her, the girl I had truly loved. Preserving the last shred of dignity for her as a woman while completely removing her from my life was the best solution I could think of. I remembered during the first year of our relationship, Lisa asked me a question. If one day I made a mistake so outrageous, so irredeemable, what would you do? At the time, I answered that I would keep the last bit of beauty intact and let her disappear completely from my world. I kept my word. The one who should feel regret is not me. The next time I encountered Lisa was 4 years later. I was out shopping at the mall with my wife when a clumsy saleswoman bumped into me. I quickly reached out to steady her and asked cautiously, "Are you okay?" The haggard woman raised her head, her expression a mix of shock and panic. My wife, who had her arm looped through mine, leaned in and asked curiously, What's wrong, honey? Do you know her? The woman in front of me stumbled and hurried away. I smiled faintly and tightened my grip on my wife's hand. No, I think she mistook me for someone else. Come on, let's go buy something.